Welcome to the League podcast with your host, Ninernation. We will be talking about the week one recap of each matchup, along with my co-host, Ian, two-time champ Vanna, aka WhodatNation. Hey Ian, how's it going, mate?
Hey, thanks, Commish, for the opportunity to co-host with you.
Looking forward to it. Happy to have you on board. It's going to be awesome, man. So we'll be doing these weekly recaps together, and we'll have a lot of fun doing them. So let's kick it off right now. Starting off with you, Ian.
All right. So the first matchup that we had was between Mr. Fudge and Tini's Ninernation. Unfortunately, he came a bit short. His top running back CMC that he drafted was ranked 15th, unfortunately, with the top three running backs on that week of week one being Saquon, Swift, and Taylor. And then also Tini also had the commissioner had Cooper Kupp scoring 19.8 points, which was his top player. So he done very well in terms of that matchup, and managed to get through with 112 points, almost doubled the score that Team Brady put up.
Yes. Sorry, Budgie. Unlucky else.
Over to you, Commissioner, to read up our next matchup.
Yeah, so following on that, our next matchup is between Frankie and Bus. Kings of the North defeats the Texans Tornadoes. Let's kick it off with the first round pick for the Kings of the North with JT, who rushed for 161 yards, scored 23.5 points. That is amazing. And what about Minka Fitzpatrick?
Wow.
I think he picked this guy up in the 12th round or something. Scores an emphatic 23 points. Also helps the Steelers to a victory against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Was insane.
Man, as we go along, Kings of the North, they go past the Tornadoes, obviously with 180 points compared to Bus's 92. Unlucky else, it's a revenge loss for the last meet they had a season ago. So, Bus had, with Stephon Diggs, scored pretty well with 18.2 points, 122 receiving yards with a touchdown. And the Miami Dolphins defense, who scored double digits with 16 points.
Crazy points. Yeah,
man, that's pretty cool. As you mentioned earlier, with Frankie's Minka Fitzpatrick, picked up late in the rounds. What do you call it? Diamond in the roughs, isn't it? So that's awesome.
Indeed.
Back to Bus's picks with his third round pick of Kyle Pitts, who only scored 1.9 points. That is the thumbs down. So, Kings of the North starts off the season in 5th place, while Texas Tornado starts off in 13th place. Unfortunately, Bus's James Cook wasn't just the lone running back to earn a negative score. It was the only starter throughout the whole league to do so. So, summarize, quickly touch base on week 2, the Kings of the North. Frankie, well done. You square off against Team Slippery. Bus's Tornadoes are up against the Kings of Tannehill. Both owners scoreless, but
which I think
change in week 2.
Which is a good segue, since you mentioned the King of Tannehill, as we look at the other matchup between Steeler Gang. That's John as the owner and Bonnie, King of Tannehill, who had a few blunders there. With Jerry Jeudy, he could have started in place of Tyler Lockett. Would have definitely made a difference. Tyler Lockett, who scored a measly I think it was just a few
2
points. 2
points.
Yes. Had the huge opportunity to be able to make a massive comeback. I mean, like with Jay Williams as well. Zeke only scored 4.9 points. Jay Williams scored 15. Jimmy Judy scored 16.2. Tyler Lockett with 2.8. Even Hunter Renfro had 5.10 points in that game. So, I think if Jay Williams started and also Jay Judy, I think it definitely would have made a difference in that matchup. What do you think?
Yeah, I think the Kings of Tannehill were probably questionable. I'm not questionable, but probably thinking about, how Geno Smith would go against a Broncos defense. So
yes, indeed.
Hence why he probably maybe just, let's give it a go, start Tyler Lockett, we'll see how it goes. It just wasn't that kind of game, was it? So
I think even starting with Geno Smith, would you have depended on him to be able to put up that kind of passing?
He scored pretty well.
Yards?
He scored. Geno Smith scored a lot of points compared to my quarterback, Dak Prescott. I think the Kings of Tannehill will be disappointed. More so, he didn't reach the century mark as well. I should mention that about the Texans Tornadoes. Which is, it's only week 1, right?
Yeah, and I think it was really good, I think, amongst all players in our league who pretty much scored above 100, aside from 3 players. But yeah, it was really good.
We won't mention them. Oh no, actually, we mentioned all of them. But that's all good. I love, I think the Kings of Tannehill, there's a pattern there. He loves his Detroit Lions running backs. So good on him for picking up Swift.
Yep.
And he may have picked up the Cuff running back as well. So
so week 2 Steeler Gang is taking on my team, WhodatNation. So it should be a good matchup. And the AFC South brothers, King of Tannehill and Texas Tornado, are taking on week 2 against each other. So it should be a good matchup.
Well, all the best to you guys. There can be only one. So let's move on to the next matchup. That is you, mate, WhodatNation. And you stole the win from the Mob Squad. And should I say hands up for the double losers? I don't know. We'll talk about that another time. But let's, you were facing an 8-point deficit on Monday night. WhodatNation scores 17 points, wins it to beat the Mob Squad with an emphatic score, and is possibly the top 3 score in week 1 with 125 points. Pretty good. Compared to a valiant effort from Mob Squad with 115. They also put up the second highest points total this week. So you came second. Well done.
Could have been first.
Yes. We'll get to that. After the recaps. So let's quickly see. Mob Squad was led by Jalen Hurts. Great score, Jalen. I thought he played really well. But if you're comparing quarterbacks in this matchup, like no one really compares. There's only 2 guys up there, really. Patrick Mahomes is one of them. And what's that dude's name from the Bills? Yeah, that guy. Oh, wasn't he awesome, eh? Anyway, so get back to this with Jamar Chase. Jeez, wasn't he amazing? 19 points. That guy's a gun.
Machine.
Absolute machine. I wish I had picked him.
It definitely got me worried, though, when I started seeing the Bengals making a massive comeback and every ball just going to Chase and he was just catching everything. I was like, oh, here we go.
Yep.
The gap, it was getting wider and wider and wider.
Yeah, I think there was an opportunity where he should have scored and the coach should have red flagged it, challenged it, but didn't. So maybe, but he ended up scoring the touchdown to tie the game anyway. So I don't know if that really mattered.
Very true.
I don't know if that would have affected the outcome, but that's all good, man. You did really well. I like the fact that I see you may have a 3-headed dragon. Travis Kelce with 18 points, Patrick Mahomes with 34 points, and Devante Adams, 21, man. That's a pretty solid three-headed dragon. And like last year's the champ with his three-headed dragon took it all the way. So who knows?
That's true.
Who knows? Let's quickly look at into your week 2 matchup. You taking on the Steeler game, like you mentioned, and then Mob Squad goes up against it's a family affair, the Lambo Leapers.
Yeah, and as we talk about the Lambo Leapers, it's a good segue to talk about the matchup between Lambo Leapers and Dolphin Rider. Lambo Leapers with 129.08 points, which leaped him up into rank number 1 in our league this week. To Marley's Dolphin Rider of 106. Again, there was some great points made in other conversations that we've had. What happens to these people who are scoring very high versus those who are scoring low?
Oh man, jeez. I mean, and especially guys, that are ranked up there, tier 1 players, like Derrick Henry, 10 points. Come on, surely he scores more than that.
Yes.
But,
I think with that 19.48 point lead on Thursday, he solidified a good spot, especially with that man, some runners, number 2 team in the NFL, Buffalo Bills.
Buffalo Bills, yeah, that's a great score. Wasn't he the highest scoring player in fantasy this week?
No,
he was up there.
Josh Allen was, I think, probably second.
Okay.
Patrick Mahomes got number 1.
Yeah, there you go. One of your 3 heads. That's awesome.
Yeah, so unfortunately, Marley just didn't have enough to kind of get him a good way to kind of close the gap.
Yeah.
But
although he scored a century points, it's pretty. But didn't T. Higgins get injured?
Yes, and I think that could have played a major factor.
Yeah,
I mean, on average, if you look across all his players, they pretty much scored really good points. Other than his suspect picked Aaron Donald, who scored 4 points. he got him in the mid-range when he could have picked up some other great players as well, potentially.
I mean, we live and learn. I don't know if he got that information or his mentor advised him to do so. I'm not too sure, but
well, if Javonte didn't fumble the ball over the goal line, maybe that gap would have been closer, right?
Wow, yeah, you're absolutely right. And had he held the rock and scored, he would have had another opportunity or 2 or 3 to score.
Exactly. With Marley scoring a really good defensive points on Tampa Bay Bucks with 13 points, and I think Lambo Leapers was had some good wide receivers with Michael Pittman at 18.8 points. 18.1 points.
Indeed. Does it sound like he's the number 1 receiver for the Colts?
I believe so. He got a lot of targets in that game. So
yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Not too sure when Lambo Leapers picked up Pittman, but that's a great pick, along with Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah. Look, Brane also picked up in free agency. This is after the draft. Hillard, who scored 20.4 points. He's I think he was in the top 5 ranked running backs for the week. So amazing pickup, Simrana.
Well done,
yeah.
Hence why, I mean, highest scoring owner for week 1. He deserves an award, doesn't he?
Indeed.
Pat yourself on the back, mate. There we go. Hug yourself.
Yes.
Awesome.
Well, over to you, Commissioner.
Let's go talk about the champ. Here we go. We are talking about the one and only, the champ. The one and only who his real team had a draw. It's the sister. But unfortunately, he loses against the Silver and Black, the winner of the round robins last year. So let's quickly do a recap. We're looking at Silver and Black, who picked up the 3rd highest player score of the week from the one and only, and it must have been his first pick, Justin Jefferson. Well done. You're the man with 30.4 points, 2 touchdowns, 184 receiving yards. Man, I can't believe that guy, Justin Jefferson. How wide open was he, right? You agree? I don't know if you watched the game, but man.
Yeah, no, I watched the highlights and I just couldn't get over how he just...
You could talk about blown coverage as well. No, I don't know. I don't know what Zadarius Smith was doing. I think he was just too focused on smashing Aaron Rodgers. And it was his revenge game, wasn't it, Zadarius Smith? Oh, man, that guy's mean. Settle down, son. You're not going to win in week 1 anyway. Back to the matchups.
But yeah, Jefferson was picked in the 2nd round.
Wait, what?
I think. Was it 2nd round? Pretty sure.
Wasn't that Nate? Oh, wow.
Was it? Is he a 2nd round pick?
Yes, because Nate picked up Aaron Jones in the 1st round. What a steal. Thumbs up, Nate. Thumbs up, Silver and Black. That guy's pretty good. He's pretty good at fantasy. So, back to it. Obviously, the score was 124 points to the champs 107. Well done for both owners to getting over the 100-point mark. So yeah, each team, the expectations were high, but Silver and Black scored 25.7% more than their projected 99 points to get the win. So Silver and Black starts the season off in overall 3rd place, while the cult following opens in 9th.
Wow.
Like we said, championship's not won in the 1st week, so I don't think the champ is worried. He's not too worried. 107 is a pretty good score, so well done.
Indeed.
Well done to both owners. Well done, Silver and Black.
Well, over to our next matchup between Danny Dimes from Nate Lambert and also Team Slippery, the Snake, Blake the Snake himself. Another high-scoring game, 122 points to 102. Very strange move from Danny Dimes not starting a kicker, but also there was a trade between he and I that stocked up his wide receiver stock. Michael Thomas, who sat on his bench with 17 odd points. Who knows if he started a kicker and Michael Thomas, would he have won that matchup?
Well, I thought definitely would have won that matchup for sure. I think Team Slippery will be quietly clapping in the background about that trade. I mean, not the trade, but for Danny's Dimes to not start MT. Oh man, it would have been chubby for joy,
Indeed. I mean, with Nate scoring a massive number 1 running back of fantasy week 1, 27.4 points. Saquads Barkley.
Saquads Barkley, Quadzilla, Saquad, that guy. Where has he been? He's risen from the dead. All of a sudden, he's touted as a top 10 pick in fantasy, and he has proven the haters wrong with 27.4 points. Well done, Saquon.
Well done.
Who did he play against? Oh, no, that's another story. Let's keep it.
Yes, and I'm sure all the AFC South teams were very happy with that result as well.
Yes. Especially in our league, right? Oh, the banter just carries on.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, another 17, 16 weeks to go.
Blake had a very good running back as well, Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Wasn't he amazing?
21.4 points. Yeah. 42 rushing yards, 32 receiving yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns. Big score, very big score.
But yeah. But again, I think by the 4th quarter, the game was one and done. Hence why he could have scored more, right? But they threw in their 2nd and 3rd string running backs, so they even did well.
Yeah.
So it kind of tells you, the Arizona run defense is a bit questionable, even though they got the big names in there, like J.J. Watt, all of those linebackers. So. Yep.
Yeah, but probably the donut award I would give to Danny Dimes for Cam Akers, who got 0.00 points.
Oh, yes. And that was the Friday night game, Friday morning game. Yeah. So I guess the writing was on the wall for Danny Dimes, right? I mean, can make his 0 points, gets a 2-for-1 trade, bench is empty, could have ultimately won him the game, didn't have a kicker. So, we live and learn.
Mismanagement? I don't know.
Yeah, we move on to the next week. Yeah, so it is what it is, right?
Yes, and so well done to Lake for winning his matchup.
Well done, Lake.
And that's our summaries for the week.
That's awesome, man. What do we got next up?
We've got the unlucky Us Award.
Yeah, we have the unlucky Us Award. So it's always a good banter within our group, but this is a kind of sad time in the podcast where we say unlucky Us, for having the lowest score. That award goes to.
Drum roll, please.
That award goes to Fudgy and Team Brady with 57.7 points. Unlucky Os.
Unlucky.
Yep. And the King of the Iron Throne award goes to the highest score in week 1. And that award goes to the Lambo Leapers with 129 points.
Well done, mate.
That guy must be happy as he's picking his favorite player and Josh Allen, winning fantasy with highest score.
I see that he's very active in the transactions too. I think coming second last season has really pushed him to really become active in the league.
Yeah, it's kind of like a revenge season for him, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, he's just trying to block out all the noise from last season. Let's start again with week 1. I'm going to pick Josh Allen, and I'm going to win. But as we all know, we also need the other side of the National Football League to perform, and that's the reality side. Our teams that we support. We need him to win as well.
Yes.
And that's another story anyway. So. What else, man? What else have we got to talk about today?
We're going to be talking about some injuries. Any injuries that we wanted to go over?
Oh yeah. Talk about injuries. I think notable injuries was Elijah Mitchell, and I think he's in Mob Squad's team. So it looks like he's done his knee. He's out for a couple months. I wouldn't be relying too much on our second, third string running backs, man. That's pretty shit. So expect Trey Lance to run a lot. I don't know if you have him. I don't know if anyone has him. I think Lambo Leapers may have him on the bench. So then we got who else? Who's that? Who's that Hulk from the Steelers?
Yeah, TJ Watt, who scored 12 points. Yeah. Who I can't remember who it was for. I think it might have been Danny Dimes. I'm not 100% sure. Yes. Yeah. Who had TJ Watt? Who just dropped him this morning on the transactions?
Who? Danny Dimes? Well, there you go. I mean, it just wasn't meant to be. Cam Akers donut, empty on the bench. TJ Watt out for the season.
And then another notable player was your quarterback, Dak Prescott.
Yeah, so he did his thumbs. He did his thumb. I don't know how he injured it, man, but he scored a pretty shit score for me. I was just fortunate to have other players that scored well. So I've dropped him.
Yes,
I'm not going to waste the bench spot holding on to him.
Why? Why do you need to? You handcuff exactly. Some running backs.
I got Stafford, and I think they're playing against the Falcons. So I'm looking for Stafford to, and the Rams to come back, have a good game.
I don't know. When we played the Falcons, that D-line was invincible up until the fourth quarter where they choked.
Wow. Are we talking about Mariota choked? Or
no. I mean, the Falcons all together, the whole team choked.
How did Cordell Patterson go?
Oh, mate, that guy was a beast. He just ran over everybody. Yeah. You should have seen the honey badger. He was just getting honey bowled.
Well, oh,
And he rolled
yeah,
over.
he's in your
Yeah.
team now.
Yeah.
Well, he's a big boy, isn't he? Kind of similar size to Derrick Henry. Man,
Yes,
those
very
running
much
backs,
so.
massive.
Yeah, so those are probably some of the notable injuries for the week.
Well done.
Yeah. Over to probably our next segment around trades of the week.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I saw, I only saw one trade come through this week that I approved as commissioner.
Yes,
I'm not too sure if there were any other trades that
that
were
was the
offered
only
between
one.
owners, but
Yeah, that was the only one of the week. But I think I wanted to talk about the way your approach to the new veto system. Previous years, we've always done a majority vote with veto, but you've taken the league with an iron fist. Just explain your thought process around that.
me on that island right now. Yeah, it's just like that, you know. I mean, the commissioner's Bruce Lee, and the owners are the guy on the boat from New Zealand. He's going to go to that island. It's pretty much, you know, throughout the years, everyone's been vetoing just for vetoing's sake.
Right.
I think it's a really dumb option, to be honest.
Right.
It should be just between two owners discussing, trades between themselves. And, you know, me as a commissioner, I'll just stand there aside and just try and figure out if there's any colluding in there. No inclusion amongst owners. What would you have there? You might as well have it like the Colts and the Texans game. Might as well be a draw and kiss your sister. You know? So me as a commissioner, that's my job to sniff out anything untowards, any trades, and I'll just let the owners unbiased decisions. You know, it's all about that. Like you and Nate Lambert and I, as we discussed, you know, in our chat. So I was happy with that.
Yes, no, I liked your approach, Commissioner, where you created a separate chat to go away from all the snakes in that pit, so that we could just
the lions from the lions den.
Yes, so that we could actually have a one-on-one conversation to ensure that everything was, above board, and
well, that's the job of a good commissioner running a good league, being fair, but also looking out for everyone. So it's my job.
But in regards to my reasons,
what was your reason for the trade? How did this trade come about? How did you get Kadarius Toney, and you gave away Michael Thomas and Drake London?
So I gave him a 2-for-1 deal because I was just really adamant that Toney was going to go off.
For the record, you weren't under the influence of any sort of substances?
No.
Okay.
And nor was there any, betting or any reasons to fix any Madden debts or anything like that. No. This came from me as well. So there was, I wanted Toney so bad, so I did whatever it took.
Good. Okay.
And so
obviously you see some upside with Toney in the future. But given the fact that Michael Thomas played the way he did and the points that he scored, do you now regret that trade?
No regrets, mate. No regrets. No regrets.
I should have drawn it. Regrets. Okay.
No regrets, mate.
No, that's good,
regrets.
Man. We live and learn. We live and learn, don't we? We live and learn.
At the end of the day, I won my matchup, so no regrets. Also, we don't know what the future will be. All right.
No one knows, right?
Michael Thomas is still a bit not 100%, and also Drake London hasn't quite proven himself yet. He had probably most of the targets in that game, so Mariota might be pushing the ball towards him. So I didn't want to kind of wait. I wanted to bite the bullet and just go with it, right? No point talking about it. Just make it happen. Yeah.
But what about Toney? Why Toney?
So I picked him up last season. He had an amazing performance of a game. He almost reminded me of OBJ in his glory days with the Giants.
Good. All right.
So saw some of his preseason stuff. So I thought, yep, this is going to be good.
Okay. Although we know now that you have no regrets, but honestly, come on, You're kicking yourself, right? You're kicking yourself.
Ah,
That wouldn't have made an overall difference. You won anyway, but you could have been ranked number 1 this week had you had him.
look, if you're not coming first at the end of the day, you're last.
Where is that from? Where's that quote from? Tell me.
I have no idea.
It's from the Texans Tornado,
Oh, is it?
aka the Book of Boss.
If you're not first, you're last.
Yeah.
Mm.
So okay. Anything else to talk about before we wrap it up?
No, I think that's it, Commish. Yeah.
Well done, man. That's awesome. That's our week 1 recap
Yes.
for the league. Hope you enjoyed watching with your host and our co-host Ian, Ninernation and WhodatNation. It's been awesome doing this, man. Let's do it again next week, right?
Indeed, brother.
Same time,
Same
channel. Tune in. So good luck for week 2, guys. Nah, I lied. It's all about Ninernation. All right.
Let's ride. All right.
Yeah. That's right. Poor guy.